You're listening to Linda Pinizzato of the Condo Expert. You know, a lot of things happen in our lives that we have to work with on a day-to-day basis, and certainly communications and telecommunications and IT, internet, voice over IPs and cell phones and I don't know. I mean, the list goes on, right? I mean, I'm here and I'm speaking with Errol Lowe of Inspired Telecom. And so, you know, tell us a little bit your background. I mean, how did you get started with all of this?
Actually, after college, I started to look around, and I'm a bit of a technophile. Yes, I'm not a Trekkie, but I do watch Star Trek and so on. So, and a lot of it is because of technology, because you kind of envision those things happening in the future. And to be honest, even the original Star Trek series, a lot of that stuff did come true because that's where the cell phone came from. And I don't know if a lot of people know that. Even the compact disc, the CD, came from the original series as well.
Really? Now that I didn't know.
That was the original, that was the original concept. And the ironic thing is, the kids that were watching those shows were the ones that actually created those objects. So when Motorola first came out with the first cell phone, the person that came up with the concept and started to build it out was an actual avid Star Trek fan way back when. So some may think these TV shows are kind of silly and so forth, but they actually do engender a certain amount of ideas, plant seeds, where people start thinking, why couldn't we have that? Why couldn't we build something where we can communicate across vast distances without wires? I mean, 40, 50 years ago, people would have thought you were insane. Now look at it. It's so integrated. 5-year-olds have their own cell phones. And if you don't have one by the time you're 6, well, like, what's wrong with you? How come your parents aren't getting that for you?
My granddaughter is 2.5 years old. Well, actually, a little less than that. Mm-hmm. And sorry, just over 2 years old. Mm-hmm. And the interesting part is that she gets in her dad, my son ends up putting her in her baby chair in the car chair, car seat. And first thing she says is iPad. Okay, and I bought her one from Toys R Us, a real good one. No. She wants his.
Wow, okay.
So she presses her button for the games she wants to play, and she sits there and she's all happy in her car seat.
Now, that's a millennium baby.
Well, absolutely. That's my son's grandchild. That's my grandchild. Kudos to my grandchild.
My goodness, it used to be a
she's
slingshot.
Amazing. Yeah, isn't that something?
Wow.
And like you said, I mean, it's amazing what the children learn.
Absolutely.
You know, how they copy us.
Yes, absolutely. And this is how I kind of got started, where my head was, I love science fiction, the Verne novels and so on, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and so forth. So I was a technophile way back when. So after college, I looked around. A friend of mine actually approached me and said that there's this new company out there. I won't mention it because everyone knows what it is. Well, this is called Big Red. And that was back around 95. So the cell phones were still just starting to get known. Oh. And it was what they call those big brick phones.
Were they the 5-pound ones? I had one of those
the
in
weapons.
my car. Yeah, I had one of those.
Yes, the weapons. The ones you could use as a weight. Yes, grow your biceps. Mm-hmm. So when I started in with that, I joined one of the company stores. And right away I fell in love with the technology. And I'm a pretty good speaker. I'm very genuine in how I talk, and especially the passion that I have for what I do. And for me, it wasn't so much the technology, it was about the customer service. I like talking to people when I'm trying to help them. And that's key in any situation. If you're looking at the other person as, what can I do to help you? And that's why I actually started doing it. The technology was a bit of the pull, just because it was cool. But the real soul searching came from, I want to help, and I know this can help people. So I did quite well. I got to the point where I opened up 2 stores myself in the North York area. This was mid to late 90s. At one point then, the largest, well, they were not the largest at the time, but the current largest wireless company in Canada called me at the time and said, would you be interested in, come down to the head office downtown? So I jumped at the chance because I like taking on new challenges, and I wanted to see what was in the ivory tower.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I started in very, very late, near the end of 99. And I got to tell you, it was really, really fun because at that time we were mavericks. We were cowboys. It was just like, there's no rules. It's like, okay, people were telling us, you guys are crazy going up against the big guy, Big Blue, right? There's no way you're going to survive. And we said, you know what? We're going to try. Mm-hmm. So it was chaotic. It was hectic. It was a lot of hours, but boy, it was fun because there was no rules. So I'm thinking it must have been similar to what Apple had back in the Steve Jobs days in the early 2000s, right? When he came back when he first started back again at Apple. So it was great. I learned a lot, and it became invaluable, the lessons I picked up along the way, both with people and with technology. And then I was there for about 10 years, rose to the ranks, various positions, learning cable, learning home phone, learning wireless, and so forth. And I learned the ropes about the business models and pricing and just the technology and how it was just exploding. So then I left in 2009, early 2009. Took a bit of a sabbatical for about 3 months, which for me is a very long time because I'm a workaholic. I remember friends and family said to me, "Are you crazy? Relax." Because I was ready to go about 2 weeks later. You know, I got to start doing something. No, Errol, relax. You've been working like nonstop for like 15 years. Breathe, man, breathe.
Yeah.
So I took about 3 months to kind of relax and smell the roses, as they say. And because I always love to learn, I'm constantly doing self-assessments. I'm a very introspective person. And how can I become better at what I do?
Oh, that's important.
Yeah,
that is so important.
Always.
It really
Self-improvement is
absolutely.
is a huge push for me. And then I started taking assessments for myself, and all these self-assessment tests and personality assessments, also the same thing. Either you need to be an executive in a corporation where you have a say in how the vision unfolds for the company, and you also have a say in how the day-to-day unfolds to make that vision a reality, or you got to build your own company and you're going to be your own CEO. So I thought, okay, I don't like taking orders from people. I had enough of that.
This sounds like me back when I left Atomic Energy and says, I'm going in real estate. Okay, enough already.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that's commendable. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and that's how it started.
Yeah.
So I started looking around and looking for partners,
Fabulous.
found Fibernetics, found a few other partners with companies in telco and so forth. And the search was always for the same thing. Who can I connect with that can provide real value to the end user, the customer? Because that's one of the things I had to do at Rogers. Well, I said it.
Well, I don't think anybody is that.
Yeah, so I think they probably knew who it was anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know.
But it was great because it pushed me to always ask the question, how can this service really help the customer? Because that's what I did at Rogers, and it was always about that question. How does this benefit the end
Besides,
user?
it's good to mention it because, Rogers they didn't achieve the successes that they have by hiring people that are not capable of getting all the expertise and training and, everything that they've learned over the years and be able to move forward. So, to me, I think it's commendable.
Okay. Thank you.
If you're from John's Backdoor Electronics Store,
True.
So it's all good, yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, and they taught me a lot. It is a good company. It's a great company. It's just as in all companies, they have to find their way. And for me, I was a huge proponent of the customer voice, and I still am. And you can probably hear it in my voice even now. I'm such a big champion of, I want to hear what the customer is saying, because without them, we don't exist.
Well, that's it. That's the key. That's a key point.
And that's how it all started.
Key point.
Yeah. So that's why I call it inspired telecom, because I wanted to inspire. I wanted to be inspired. I wanted to inspire others.
It's right. Actually, that's true. It's right in your name.
Yeah. And that's because I was searching for a name. I was, all these cool names, and they're already taken, right? But then I thought, let's get to the heart of what the company's going to be about.
Right.
And that's when I came up with, I thought to myself, looking out of the window one day, I need an inspiration. And then like a flash of lightning.
And that was it.
That was it.
Perfect.
Well, that's the name, right? So that's how it all started. And then.
Well, it's kind of cool too, because embedded in there is IT.
Yes. Yes. You're right.
Probably didn't even think about that at the time. I
just noticed that. Yes.
Yeah. But, that's how things happen though. Things happen by a breath of fresh air of stopping for a moment and trying to figure out what your dream is and where your biggest strength is.
Absolutely.
I think that there's a lot of most entrepreneurs, if you're not feeling everything that you're involved in, I don't believe that you would really have the tremendous successes that you would have.
Yeah, the passion
the belief has to come all together.
And quite often, as I'm learning myself, I'm not a very patient person by nature, but over the years, having learned my personality by the assessments and by actually seeking out advice and suggestions from friends and not so friendly people, it gives you a picture of who you are. Because quite often, as I'm sure most people know, what you see in the mirror is not always what other people see when they see you.
Well, it's a hard one because, I'm actually it's funny because I've got a very outgoing personality.
Yes, you do.
And the funny part is that I have a tremendous amount of patience. Like sometimes people may not think I do because I'm moving so fast and I'm involved in everything.
Yes, warp speed.
Well, yeah. But the funny part is when I'm dealing in real estate, I'm ridiculously patient. And a lot of times the patient comes because I understand that they need to understand.
That's true.
And they need to take the time to understand. So there's no point for me to be rushing them, because otherwise I'm just wasting my time and spinning everybody's wheels.
And that's what I learned the hard way. That
Yeah.
you know what, and that's one of the reasons I started taking
That's
these
important.
tests and assessments and realized, oh, and I thought, wow, I had epiphanies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why I behave like that. That's why I think that. And I said, okay, I have to start working on my patience level, because for me, I'm very quick. I think it's something, okay, let's just go. Let's just build it. It's going to work. Don't worry, it's going to work, right? But then it's like, I got to remember, not everybody's like that. Everyone has different personalities, and some people need more time to assess, absorb, digest, and feel comfortable with it. And I realized I have to tone it down, pull back, and make sure that I make sure they understand it. As Stephen Covey would say, and I'm a big fan of his, and it's too bad he passed away, but seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I'm trying to live my life by that and grow the business in that way. Because again, if you don't know what your customer is looking for, what they want, there's no way that you can be sustainable.
Well, exactly. You have to be 100%.
Absolutely.
So give a shout out to your contact information.
Yes. So again, it's Errol Lowe at Inspire Telecom. You can give me a call and ask any question about technology that you want, and I'll be more than happy to explain to you. And if I don't have the answer, we have plenty of people who do, partners and otherwise. So the number is 416-477-7296. And if you want to reach me directly, you can put in extension 100. So that number, once again, 416-477-7296, extension 100.
And email address
is Errol, as in Flynn, for those of you who watch those movies. So it's ERROL at inspired, INSPIRED, telecom, TELECOM.com. So Errol at inspiredtelecom.com.
Thank you, Errol, so much for coming on the Condo Expert today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an absolute blast, and you'll definitely be invited back on again. So
Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun.
Same
so I
here.
hope all the listeners found that they learned a ton of information today, and we'll be talking to you the next time. You've been listening to Linda Pinizzato of the Condo Expert here on Bayshore Health Community and Wellbeing Station, powered by the Hayes FM in Mississauga.